Is it biblically wrong to gamble?
Yes.
That's it?
Okay. Want me to go into details?
Yes, a little bit.
All right. It is biblically wrong to gamble because gambling is trying to reap where you didn't sow. Gambling is trying to get something for nothing. It's a mentality of getting something for nothing. Gambling is trying to gain without going through the process. The process, and also gambling is trying to gain advantage of other people's sweat. Gambling is like playing MMM, or it's like investing in get rich quick schemes. Gambling is like, is deception. Is like trying to gain profit without production of goods, without production of services, and just by speculating. It is speculation, and it makes you lazy. It doesn't just make you lazy, but because you are not working. You just want to get something just because you put something in. It's like lottery. And that's why most people who do gambling, they always become addictive to it. So it's a kind of addiction too. It's as addictive as using drugs or alcohol. It's like stealing. It's like, it's as bad as, like using drugs. So that's why most people who do gambling, they don't just lose the money eventually. Even when you win a lot, like in lottery, some people win a big lottery, but in 10 years' time, they come back to square one, and their situation is always worse than when they started. So it's against the nature of Christian values that the Bible preaches.
Okay, but a picture is coming to my mind, like what we do, we go to church to gamble too. Like we give God tithe.
Yes.
Then we lie down and rest,
Okay.
without really going through the process, without really doing the work that we are supposed to do. It's okay, I have given him, now I'm waiting for him to open up the windows of heaven. Can we relate that to gambling?
Do people do that, what you just said
Yes.
now?
Some do it.
Okay, if people
Some
do,
even preach it.
if people do what you just said now, and they preach it, and people give just to get something back, then they are not Christians. They are gamblers, but they are not Christians. That should not be allowed in Christianity. In fact, if you sow in Christianity, that's when you are supposed to work more. You are not supposed to sow and just expect without doing anything and going to relax. That's when you're supposed to work more. And then when you sow too, it's not necessarily that you need to expect something back in terms of money. When you sow to God, or when you give to God, it is about obedience. Giving to God, tithe and offering should be about obedience to God rather than about trying to expect something back. Even if you give to God and you want him to, he said he will give to you, he will open the doors of heaven to you. What he's talking about might not necessarily be material. It might be talking about ideas. It might be talking about wisdom. It might be talking about, strength, the power to gain wealth. So it might be telling you about, blessing you in general, but not necessarily that you give some amount of money to the church or to God, and you are going to get more of the amount you give. That is, it's not quite like that. Sometimes it could happen like that, but God shows it. You don't get to. God doesn't even send money. God will never give you money back. God could bless you by giving you opportunities. God could lead you to people or lead people to you. God could give you ideas, but you still need to work out to make those things come to pass. So it's not Christianity if any church does that.